The thing is, when you talk about language, it's confusing because language has at least two levels of meaning.
Mm-hmm.
There's what the words say, and there's what the sound says as well. And those are two sometimes different things. And so, for instance, this man you heard last time, he's actually a preacher. He's preaching to a congregation, and he says, "And he will bring peace into the world," like that. He screams this. So on the one hand, he's saying something that is very peaceful, but he's screaming. He's very angry too. And I'm interested when you have two or three meanings to the language like that. That's only one of the meanings. For example, sometimes when I write songs, most times when I write a song, I start with the sound, and then I turn the sound into words. You know, for example, I might know that I hear the music and I want the words to go ooh ah ee ah da ah, like that. So I listen to that and I make that into words then. Who ah ni ta pum. Do you understand? So the sound makes the words. But for me, they must both be interesting, both the sound and the words. And this is one of the reasons that using poetry in music is so difficult, because the poem already exists, and sometimes it isn't the right sound to make music with. I wasn't writing a book. I was writing a part of a book, yeah. There's a book coming out which has 8 authors. Each one is writing about cybernetics from his own point of view. One of the people is a neurophysiologist, another is a botanist, another is a politician, there's me, a musician. Each one is a different type of person. I'm the only artist, actually. So yes, I'm doing that. I finished that. Yeah. Well, let me see. Cybernetics is the science for dealing with complex systems that don't generate predictable results. Do you understand? Most sciences deal with systems that you can describe the result of perfectly, like mechanics, for instance. If you're dealing with machines, you know that the machine is going to do that, right? But in cybernetics, you're dealing with complex systems like human bodies, for example, or large groups of people, and you don't know quite what the results are going to be. Now, the reason I became interested was because the way I've been making music for the last few years is different from the way most composers work. I don't go into the studio with a plan in mind and with a piece of music in my head, which I then make. I go into the studio and I set a whole lot of things up, and I set some people up, and I say, let's do this, let's do that, and see what happens. So what I'm trying to do is set in motion a situation that will generate interesting results, but I don't know exactly what those results will be beforehand. So I became interested in ways of dealing with that problem, and cybernetics is one way of dealing with that problem. For example, the main instruction says, sing any note that you can hear. It's only voices, there are only voices in this piece. And it says, sing any note that you can hear. Now, because there are many other people singing, you sing one of their notes, all right? You sing a note that's already being sung by somebody else. But one of the interesting things that happens is that if you're in any room, this is hard to explain, the room will have what's called a resonant frequency.
I see.
It means that the room tends to make one note louder than any other. So with this instruction, sing any note that you can hear, there is a higher probability that you'll sing that note than any other. So what happens after the piece starts, it quite soon resolves itself around this drone, the resonant frequency of the room. And that's an example of the automatic controls that enter into the piece. Edison had a theory that all sound existed forever. So once you made a sound, it just carried on out into the universe, but it was always there somewhere. The energy of this sound was always there. And so he wanted to construct a device so that you could pick up like the sounds of the ancient Romans and the sounds of Shakespeare talking and things like that. He thought that if you constructed powerful enough equipment, you could get these sounds back again. Yeah, so I think human beings are equipped to see a certain, or to perceive a certain range of things. Now, anything that is moving too quickly, they see as static.
I see.
Anything that is moving very, very quickly, you see as static. Like all of the particles in your body are moving all the time, but I can't see them, I see them as still.
Right.
Also, anything that is moving too slowly, like the rocks, for example, or the garden, we see that as static as well. Actually, they're all these things are moving. So if you draw a graph, it's like that. You know, this is speed of movement along this axis here. Deze schaats in alle een verliet ze dan ik uitgeld ze paar groot liefes je doet het niet heel mooi het is gaat wou ze het had ze alles zo maar ik de old masker schorret geld heel als is niet doen ze in geen zo ooit ze weer samen weer snack ja ja ze lopen je doen maar je dat woon je zo graag met wel geld het had ze is je weer doen ze in geen het had ze is heel goed gewöhnen ze in geen aan jetzt verschnären als wees verstop als is es ook hier is geen niet maar niet ja dat hij ik heb naast zich eigenlijk niet een ook aan de hart de hart niet hoe het ook die als is niet los het is dus naast dat nummer misschien dus naast het echt wie das ja wieder Artsen ist noch wie hören. So so nass ist wie schnell der muss so wird wenn du jetzt nicht warten mal der echt ist nass der mich noch was her of the says nass so there is the set if you listen there's net that's wash is ham so it will mas gonna says and wir wissen hier von den selben words in our was der news auch see with the pause and how was in it and een adnis zo het is dat het wordt wel als er en ik weet het niet eens een schart in zit de was dat hij in het raad een nou game is nest meer met het neemt het maar is nog hier van een zero looks op wel meer met nee dat is geslaagd zitten meer wie net er ooit is als niet tussen is dan ook zo hij de massa niet ieder was het een ding is wie ja steun hij dan ook niet wie Inges so viel Vereine Mörser waren. Hey, wie nicht Inges ist. Sie sind so wie es ist. Hey, wie nicht Inges. Es ist schwarz nicht mit Masker. Also wir leben bei Moses ist kein Versen. Mit Bart hat sie umgelegt, das ja nicht zerschen nicht mehr gebaut. Was now if you was there's a has you no doubt. Was er nicht zerschen nicht. Sie are nicht gut und schwer ist und schlimm ist. So mit mir schnell was sind wissen alles sehr die sagen aber ich muss es ja eine passen jetzt alles ja neulich sind mir ja mir der schon der haben nicht gesehen was ich wir müssen ja nicht nach der neulich sind mir nicht ja also so nicht so mehr sie ich soll es gesehen ich habe nicht erlebt so gibt so das herrschen im ersten gelernt sehr wird hier ist mir das was er auf auch und nicht ist nicht okay das wird schnell wo mal gibt sie laden mich als mit das gemacht so mir ist ist ein Vers nicht ja wird mir nicht mit der nicht mir ist wirklich das nervs kann ich im Geld gehabt was er wird auch sitzen nicht wie das mit das so that's no was er would get repaired not but this it macht the million snails is getting us is even oh that's really fun and we're not about serious here's got this high in the mountains the house perfect is no shit she's in the end she's off zero on Same as what was around. So the lazy fairing is the gift now. We can open up. See, it's in the bus, having his hours in off shit. So the thoughts get still. Banging in my coat was red. Straight, take the half, having his hours in that. Opening hours of it. You see him, that's our runs it is not listening. Says, get a room worth it. So, if it does, you can see me. Here's easy, it's sincere with an opposite. Snack. So, when the master thought, it's actually put some of the name of the snow with skin, mass, this, and that's a note. Let's go, wasn't it? Again, I was in Silas. I felt, so with my ground, it's really happy. Oh, well, I'll go down up. Look, my girl. Going to slow, was been nice and nice down at that. Nice, the outside, moss around those mouths. Some moss around those mouths, must, look, my girl. Singing with an albino as that. I've housed me out of the singing and beer throws. I've been over touching out in that. With your hair, see, in your see it. Well, see, here it's in my see, now when I was. Says milk, see, I felt, oh, what's it? No, Sissy, she had remarked that goes near Schliefty, see, a Schliefty has he. Now it's told that we nam since the chair, person, Smith and 50 minutes must be with the Roses, yes, nice, loves it. Yes, no, what loves it. In him, the Zolus, still a list, actually, me out, the music, next to me, I'll watch me, you'll sing it.